Here we go. We got 13 games tonight. So if you're looking forward to a nice quiet night of watching hockey, you're in luck. There's a whole bunch of games to choose from. And these could be... this could be a very telling night for a lot of teams. You have a busy night tonight. Tomorrow night's pretty quiet. And then Saturday it's busy again. November really seems to be the most brutal month for most teams when it comes to scheduling. So how you come out of November could go a long way to deciding the rest of your season. All right, starting things off. Buffalo is in against Boston. This one starts at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. There are 5 games starting at that time tonight. The Buffalo Sabres, 10-8-3. Their overall record, not so bad, but their record in November is not so great. They have 7 regulation wins. So what I did today was I put regulation wins on the board. Boston has the 13-3-5 record. All 13 of their wins are in regulation. So keep in mind that's your first tiebreaker if teams have the same record at the end of the year. Boston, not so great in extra time. If past 60 minutes the game's still tied, Boston's not winning. That's basically what we've learned this year. But, tonight at home against Buffalo, this is a tricky one. I thought about putting like an Akbar magnet up because technically there's a large distance between them and the standings right now, but they really shouldn't have any problem getting out for Buffalo, they being Boston. As you got Eichel coming to town in their last 10 games. Eichel has 7 goals, 4 assists. Jeff Skinner, 2 goals, 3 assists in their last 10 games. Olofsson, a goal and 5 assists, and Reinhart has 4 goals and 5 assists. On the blue line, Dahlin, 3 assists. Yoki Haru has 2 goals and an assist. And in net, Ullmark 2-1, or 2-3 I should say, with a .911 save percentage. Hutton's 0-3-2 with an .894 save percentage. So between the two, I would say Ullmark's played better lately. On the Boston side of things, over their last 10 games, Marchand, 6 goals, 9 assists. Pasternak, 8 goals, 4 assists. Coyle, 3 goals, 4 assists. Heinen, 2 goals, 4 assists. On the blue line, Chara has 2 goals and 3 assists. McAvoy, 4 helpers. And in goal, Rask, 4-2-1 with a .909 save percentage. And Jaro Halak, 1-0-2 with a .932 save percentage. So Boston, who going into that New Jersey game, they'd been shaky lately. We'll see whether or not this can be the continuance of them getting back on track. I would say that Buffalo's a pretty good test for that. And despite the distance between the two in the standings, I don't think they're necessarily that far apart. I really think that Buffalo can bounce back. I do. I know there's people saying, oh, there we go again. It's the same thing. It doesn't feel quite the same, but I can understand the GM looking for forward depth as well. All right, moving along. Anaheim is in against Florida tonight. This one, of course, starts at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Anaheim's 10-10-2 with 9 regulation wins. Florida's 11-5-5 with 7 regulation wins. Now, again, when we look at scoring over the last 10 games, Ryan Getzlaf, 4 goals, 5 assists for the Ducks. Henrique, 2 goals, 5 assists. Sam Steele, a goal and 5 assists. Raquel, 3 goals, 4 assists. On the blue line, Cam Fowler has 2 goals and 2 assists, and Michael Del Zotto, 2 helpers for him. In goal, Gibson, who has been very hot and cold, 3-5 overall with an .899 save percentage in their last 10. Ryan Miller has 2 losses in extra time with a .904 save percentage over the last 10 games. On the Florida side, Huberdeau, 5 goals, 10 assists. He continues to exceed expectations, so he raised the bar last year, and I thought he's probably not going to get back to that total again. He's probably going to exceed it this year. Barkov, 7 goals, 7 assists. I knew he'd get the goals going. That's 7 goals in his last 10. I think it's actually 7 goals in his last 8. Connolly, 4 goals, 2 assists. And Hoffman, 4 goals, 4 assists for him. On the blue line, Yandel, a goal and 13 assists in their last 10 games. He's doing pretty well. Ekblad, a goal and 3 assists for him. In net, Burakovsky, 4-2-1 record over their last 10. .899 save percentage. And you get the feeling Burakovsky's starting to turn into that goaltender they signed for that big money. Montembeault, 2-1 record with an .873 save percentage over their last 10 games. So this is one of those ones that should be very interesting in that you've got 7 regulation wins here, 9 here. This is why I've been trying to tell Florida fans for a while that they don't take large jumps up the power rankings when they expect to, because they're not winning a lot in regulation. and I want to see more convincing wins out of them. And this is one of those ones where you're at home, you're against a team that has trouble scoring, a team that's been cold over their last 10 games. You got to go out and you got to take care of business. We'll see what happens tonight. Now, moving along. Pittsburgh in against the Islanders. Yep, again. And I don't think these guys are going to be very happy to see each other again. 11-7-3 is the record for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have won 8 times in regulation. The Islanders are 15-3-1. They've won 10 times in regulation. So the Islanders, one of the better teams in the league at regulation wins. Over their last 10 games, Malkin, 3 goals, 8 assists for him. McCann, 4 goals, 5 assists. Cahoon, 5 goals, 4 assists. Simone with a goal and 3 assists for the Penguins. On the blue line, John Marino, a goal and 5 assists. Is still very quietly a very good story this year. Dumoulin, a goal and 2 assists on the blue line for the Penguins. In net, Ryan Murray, 4-1-3 with a .912 save percentage. Jari is 1-1 with a .936 save percentage. On the Islanders side of things, Barzal, 5 goals, 5 assists in their last 10 games. Nelson, 2 goals, 6 assists. Brassard, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. Not a bad little run for Derek Brassard. Bailey, 3 goals, 3 assists. On the blue line, Leddy has 2 goals, 5 assists. Pulick, 3 goals and 3 assists. In net, Varlamov, 4-0-1 with a .903 save percentage. And Thomas Greiss, 5 wins, no losses, no overtime losses, and a .945 save percentage. I do hope this year that Greiss gets some consideration for the Vezina if his numbers stay like that. Because in all honesty, he's been a very good goaltender for the last year plus. Everybody loved Leonard. Everybody talked about Leonard. And I remember last year saying, well, with the numbers Greiss has put up too, it wouldn't just go to Leonard. And then, everybody still loved Leonard. And I thought, well, okay, but Greiss. So hopefully Greiss gets some consideration this year since he's still doing it, even though Leonard's moved on. And he is putting up better numbers than Varlamov so far this year. So maybe that'll equal some kind of consideration given to Thomas Greiss. All right. Next up, Philadelphia is in Carolina. This is going to be a fun one. This could be a game that has a lot of goals in it, and could have massive momentum swings as well. 10-7-4 is the record for Philadelphia. They have 6 regulation wins, whereas Carolina's 13-7-1. They have 8 regulation wins for them. When you look at the scoring over the last 10 games, Claude Giroux, 3 goals, 3 assists. Jacob Voracek, only 4 assists in the last 10 games. Couturier, 4 goals, 6 assists. Lindblom, 3 goals and 4 assists. I've said it for years. I'll say it again. When the Flyers are going well, Sean Couturier is usually going well. And he, I think, is their MVP. In that when they're playing well, he's a big part of the reason why. Provorov on the blue line, 2 goals, 4 assists. Niskanen with 4 helpers in their last 10 games. Carter Hart has a 4-2-1 record with a .919 save percentage. Elliott's 1-0-2 with a .927 save percentage. So overall, the goaltending numbers have been excellent for Philadelphia over their last 10. On the Carolina side of things, Warren Fogle, 3 goals, 2 assists for him. Svechnikov, 7 goals, 6 assists. He's having an excellent season, and every Carolina fan will let you know. Sebastian Aho, 7 goals, 3 assists. And Netchus has 3 goals and 6 assists for 9 points in their last 10 games. On the blue line, Slavin with 5 helpers. Hamilton, 3 goals and 8 assists for 11 points in their last 10 games. In goal, Mrazek, 5-2 with a .905 save percentage. And Reimer's 1-2 with an .878 save percentage. When we look at these two teams, Carolina has recovered from their slow start to November, whereas Philadelphia, they get off to that fast start, and now they've been kind of shaky over the last week. We'll see whether or not they can get things back on track tonight in Carolina. I think Carolina probably wins this. It's funny, too, because I know I'm a bit hard on Carolina, but I like Carolina. I'd like to see them follow up last year's playoff success with another year in the playoffs. That's very unusual for the Carolina Hurricanes. And, yeah, there have been some concerns I've had, but over the last few games, a lot of that has worked itself out. I still do wonder if they have to use Reimer a lot, whether or not that's going to negatively impact them. But that being said, I now need to change boards. And since we have 13 games, it's one of those obnoxious things where I have the 3 boards and then the 4th is just 1 game. Anyways, moving along, the last game that starts at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, is Detroit in against Columbus. Do not take the Red Wings lightly. The Red Wings are 7-13-3. They only have 6 regulation wins. Columbus, 8-8-4. They have 4. Count them, 4 regulation wins for them, which is low. That's the lowest number in the league that I saw. So, for Columbus, I don't see them taking anybody lightly. That's the reason that I didn't put an Akbar magnet on that game, because I don't see them taking anybody lightly at all. Over their last 10, though, Mantha has 5 goals and 5 assists for Detroit. Athanasiou, 5 goals, 4 assists. Filppula, 2 goals, 5 assists. Bertuzzi, 3 goals and 4 assists. So the scoring depth is there for Detroit. On the blue line, Hronek, a goal and 4 assists. Bowie with a goal and 3 assists for them. In net, the numbers are not great. Bernier's 3-2-1 with an .896 save percentage. Howard 0-3-1 with an .812 save percentage. This being over their last 10 games. So, Howard's numbers are miserable. Bernier's numbers are better. Still not 900 for a save percentage. We'll see what ends up happening with Detroit's goaltending. I don't think we're very far from Bernier just being flat out the starter. And I don't know what you do with Howard then. I don't know what Detroit does with him. On the Columbus side of things, Dubois, 5 goals, 4 assists. Atkinson, 6 assists in their last 10 games. Boone Jenner with 4 goals. Gustav Nyquist has a goal and 6 assists. On the blue line, Werenski, 4 goals, 3 assists. Seth Jones with 4 helpers. In net, Korpisalo has a 3-5 record with an .899 save percentage. And Merzlikins, 2 overtime or shootout losses, .923 save percentage for him. I would honestly give Merzlikins the start. This is probably his best chance to get his first win. And, who knows where he goes from there. It feels like with Merzlikins that he's got pretty good fundamentals, and they just need to play well in front of him. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Next up, Calgary in against St. Louis. This one starts at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. And for the Flames, this has gotten ugly fast. 10-11-3. St. Louis is 13-4-5. Regulation wins. Calgary has 6. St. Louis has 8. I keep waiting for Calgary to pull out of this, and I believe they will. I do. I still think Calgary should. Yeah, they should be a playoff team. Yep. They're better than this. And yet, over their last 10, Johnny Gaudreau, 2 goals, 5 assists. Tkachuk, 6 goals, 4 assists. Monahan, 3 goals, 7 assists. Derek Ryan, 3 goals and 2 assists. Mark Giordano, a goal and 3 assists. Rasmus Anderson, a goal and 3 assists as well. In net, Riddick, 4-2-1 record with a .917 save percentage. Talbot's 0-3 with an .880 save percentage. And we'll see whether or not we end up in a position where people are going to throw stones at Talbot, when in reality it really hasn't been his fault in those 3 losses, but it's the age we live in where it's easy to make the backup goalie the scapegoat. On the St. Louis side of things, Schwartz, 4 goals, 3 assists in their last 10 games. Perron, 3 goals, 5 assists. Thomas with 2 goals and 2 assists. Thomas is going to break through. It's a matter of whether it's going to be soon or if it's going to be next year. Barbashev, 2 goals, 3 assists for him on the blue line. Parayko with a goal and 3 assists, and Pietrangelo with 2 goals and 8 helpers. So 10 points in his last 10 games. Makes it more difficult when we talk about the extension and when he's going to sign it, how much he's going to make, are they going to trade him? Makes it really difficult to argue for trading him if he's putting up a point a game. In net, Bennington, .933 save percentage to go with a 5-1-1 record. Allen's 2-0-1 with a .917 save percentage. So, despite a lot of the comments about Jake Allen and all this, his numbers this year have actually been pretty good. And for Calgary, it does not get easier. And if they lose coming out of tonight, the thing is this, I don't think Bill Peters' job is in any kind of danger. But I do think that if they continue to play like this, a trade's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be any of the big names, but something's got to happen. Hamannik's the obvious one that could end up getting moved, but something's got to change. There's something off with the chemistry of this team. Moving along. Vancouver's in Nashville. And these two teams have very similar records. Vancouver's 10-8-4. They've got 8 regulation wins. Nashville's 9-8-3. They've got 8 regulation wins as well. I'm going to go ahead and say Nashville may very well beat the living you-know-what out of Vancouver tonight, only because Vancouver beat them last week, and Vancouver's having a really hard time right now. And we'll go through where that hard time is. Horvat's been having his challenges. It feels like JT Miller's kind of come off that high he had early in the year, which we knew was going to happen anyways. And the blue line has been sagging. Absolutely has been sagging. So on the Vancouver side, Tanner Pearson, 2 goals, 4 assists in their last 10 games. Pettersson, 4 goals, 3 assists. Gaudette, 5 goals, 2 assists. He doesn't want to come out of the lineup when everybody gets healthy. JT Miller, 2 goals and 4 assists. On the blue line, Edler, 1 goal, 4 assists. And it is starting to get traction, this idea in the media that Edler's taking too many penalties. Yep. Quinn Hughes, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points in their last 10 games. In net, Markstrom 0-4-2 with an .893 save percentage. Demko 2-1-1 with an .892 save percentage. The one thing I do wonder about Markstrom is we know he's going through a lot right now. We know it's a really frustrating time for him. And the one thing I've wondered with Markstrom is, did he come back too early? Did he come back too soon? So I do genuinely have some concern with Markstrom, and his numbers have been down. So hopefully all this turns around. I'm not betting on it tonight in Nashville, because Nashville's been cold for a while, and they're due for a big game. Johansson, 6 assists in their last 10 games. Duchesne, 3 goals, 2 assists in their last 10 games. He's overdue for a big game. Grimaldi with 5 assists. Watson, 2 goals and 2 assists. On the blue line, Yossi, 3 goals, 7 assists. He just keeps plugging along at a point a game. Ellis, 2 goals and 3 helpers. In net, the numbers are not great. Rene, 2-3-1 with an .848 save percentage. Saros, 1-2-1 with a .907 save percentage. So yes, Saros is outplaying Rene, but both of them have a losing record in their last 10 games. Like I said, I'm anticipating potentially a big game for Nashville. This game does make me nervous as a Canucks fan. Next up, Colorado is in against Minnesota. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific for this one. These games can be kind of fighty. You guys are going to see on the next board, I've got a brand new magnet that I'm debuting today. And I thought about throwing it on this one, but I'm not going to. 13-6-2 is the record for Colorado. They've got 10 regulation wins. And for Minnesota, they're 8-11-2. They've got 8 regulation wins. So again, if a game goes beyond regulation, they're like, nah, we're good. We got the point, we're good. In their last 10 games, Nathan MacKinnon, 7 goals, 9 assists. Burakovsky, 6 goals, 3 assists. He's been quite the story for them. Kadri, 2 goals, 6 assists. Donskoy, 5 goals and 3 assists. On the blue line, Cale Makar, 4 goals, 9 assists, 13 points in their last 10 games. Girard with a goal and an assist as well. In net, Grubauer, 2-3-1 with a .915 save percentage. Francouz, 2-1 record with a .903 save percentage. I would probably throw Francouz in here if I was Coach Bednar. I would throw Francouz in here, give him his first game in a little bit. Grubauer was in the last game, looked good. Get Francouz in there, everybody's happy. On the Minnesota side of things, Zucker, 3 goals, 6 assists in their last 10 games. Fiala, 4 goals, 2 assists. Parise, 5 goals, 3 assists. Luke Cunnin with 2 goals, 2 assists. Suter, a goal and 4 assists. Brodin, a goal and 3 assists on the blue line. And in net, Dubnyk, 2-3-2 with a .905 save percentage. Stalock, 2-1 with an .891 save percentage over their last 10 games. So for Minnesota, who are flirting with the idea of getting back into the playoff hunt, tonight's a good night to go out and beat a division rival in Colorado. And I have a feeling Colorado probably wins this. That being said, Minnesota's won some games that I wasn't expecting them to. The other night against Buffalo, for instance, that was a very, very good effort from Minnesota. And I believe some Wild fans saying, where were these guys early in the year? The team was losing all these games. Where were these guys? Because we wouldn't have lost all those games, and then maybe we'd have a better record and we wouldn't be needing to dig our way out of this mess that we're in. So yeah, that being said, I now need to change boards. Alright, so if you're watching this on your phone, you're not going to be able to see the little magnet. Don't worry about it. I'll show you when I get to that game. If you're on your TV, don't ruin it for everybody. Now, Tampa, like this is live. Tampa, 8:30 start Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. They're in Chicago. Tampa's 9-7-2. They've got 7 regulation wins. Chicago's 9-8-4. They've got 7 regulation wins as well. This is a perfect matchup. You've got two teams that on any given night, I don't know, they might win 7-2. They might lose 6-3. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect. That being said, the goaltending numbers for Chicago have been excellent. Those losses, those lopsided losses, kind of a thing of the past right now. And they'll be up against a team in Tampa that, we'll see what ends up happening. Kucherov, 3 goals, 7 assists in their last 10 games. Providing he plays tonight, I haven't seen a report yet whether or not he's going to play, but would he be 100% healthy if he did? So that's the question. Stamkos, 3 goals, 8 assists. Killorn, 5 goals, 4 assists. Yanni Gourde, 4 goals, 3 assists for him. On the blue line, Victor Hedman, 4 goals, 8 assists, so he's trying to bulldoze his way into the Norris conversation. Shattenkirk, a goal and 7 assists. In net, Vasilevsky, 3 wins, 4 losses, and a .909 save percentage. He's got to bring his numbers up. And McElhinney's 2-0-1 with a .904 save percentage. Good for a backup. On the Chicago side, Jonathan Toews, 3 goals, 6 assists, has really picked up his game over the last few weeks. Kane, 8 goals, 11 assists. When Patrick Kane goes on a run, you kind of think, he could put up McDavid numbers if he could do this all year. Kubalik, 3 goals, 2 assists, and Kirby Dach, as any Chicago fan will tell you, has been very good for the last couple of weeks. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists for 8 points in their last 10. On the blue line, Duncan Keith, a goal and 3 assists, and Gustafsson has 3 goals in their last 10 games. In net, Corey Crawford, 3-0-2 record with a .937 save percentage. Robin Lehner, 3-2 record with a .931 save percentage. That's what I'm saying. The lopsided losses, not really a Chicago thing right now. And they look pretty darn good. So tonight, this is a good test for Tampa. Okay, Tampa, if you're going to wake up and stay awake, tonight's a good night to do it. Because Chicago will punish them if they don't. So we'll see. This is one of those ones that for Saturday's power rankings, you want to look at a game that I watch and make a big call on. It's a game like this, where Tampa's in Chicago. This is a game where last year they would have won it, and this year we really don't know. All right, next up, Winnipeg's in Dallas. This is one of those ones that starts at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, and it means a fight night in this house. No, it doesn't. I'm just kidding, because Winnipeg, of course, is my wife's favorite team. Dallas is one of my favorite teams. Doesn't mean a fight. There may be a comment back and forth here and there between us during the game or after the game, but it's nothing major. Winnipeg is 13-8-1. They've got 7 regulation wins. Dallas is 12-8-2. They've got 10 regulation wins. So this is a situation where the records are very similar, but regulation wins being the tiebreaker for playoffs. If they ended up with the same record right now, Dallas would be in the playoffs. That being said, Winnipeg's going to be a really good test. Over their last 10 games, Connor, 3 goals, 8 assists. Ehlers, 6 goals, 1 assist. Kopp, 2 goals, 3 assists. And Wheeler, 2 goals and 4 assists. I believe he had 2 helpers in their last game. On the blue line, Morrissey with a goal and 6 assists. And Tucker Pullman, 5 helpers. That blue line has turned out to be better than was expected. And at the same time, it's been bailed out by Hellebuck. He has a 5-2-1 record and a .931 save percentage in their last 10 games. Bressois, 2 wins and an .889 save percentage for him. So they played pretty well with Bressois in net, despite his numbers being a little bit lackadaisical. On the Dallas side of things, Tyler Seguin, 3 goals, 9 assists. He's bouncing back from his slow start. Pavelski, 3 goals, 6 assists. Dickinson, 2 goals, 3 assists. Foxa, 3 goals, 5 assists. Not on the board, it's Jamie Benn, who's rebounded from his slow start as well. On the blue line, Lindell with 4 helpers. Heiskanen, 3 goals and 7 assists. In net, both Bishop and Hudobin have a record of 4-0-1, and they both have a save percentage of .940. Their goals against, very, very, very close. So Dallas has been pretty darn good lately. These numbers, I am a little bit suspicious of, because I'm pretty sure Dallas has lost in regulation at least once in their last 10. That being said, I know they're 10-1-1 in their last 12. Pretty sure that's the record. So, yeah, it's pretty good. Well, they're 11-1-1 in their last 13, because they were 1-7-1 to start the season. That was when I did the video on them being off to that slow start. I'm not going to take credit for them turning it around, but I'm not going to take credit. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Shannon does a video and a team turns things around. All right. And that's where in the comment section people say, do a video on this team then. Okay, Toronto. So it's 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. It starts. The Sheldon Keefe era is upon us. I even thought about doing a video this morning where I argue that Sheldon Keefe should be fired and give many reasons why before he started, and then see how many of them we're hearing at the end of the season. So, yeah, sort of like a time capsule. This is from the future. Anyways, 9-10-4 is the record for Toronto. They've won 6 in regulation. That's not enough. On the Arizona side, they're 13-7-2. They've won 8 in regulation. Arizona's feeling pretty good about themselves. Oh, and somebody in the Arizona top 6 knows Toronto pretty well. So that may be a bit of a storyline tonight as well. We'll see. On the Toronto side of things, William Nylander, 5 goals, 4 assists. He has 9 points in their last 10 games. And yet, he's always the first name that comes up when you talk about players who could be traded. He is always the one that people talk about when they say he's not playing well enough and he's not doing enough. And honestly, I don't think Nylander's been the problem lately. Now, Tavares, with 3 goals, 4 assists, his play has been alarming. Whether it's the offense or bad timing on penalties or whatever it is, yeah, Tavares' play hasn't been great. Spezza, 3 goals, 2 assists. Now with a new coach, I would think Spezza will not be coming out of the lineup anymore. Kapanen, 3 goals and 1 assist for him. On the blue line, Morgan Riley with 4 assists and Tyson Barrie with 3 assists. In net, Freddie Anderson, 3-3-2 record with a .921 save percentage. Kaskisuo, 0-1 with an .842 save percentage. So we'll see when Kaskisuo gets to play now with a new coach. And does this mean Freddie Anderson plays both halves of back-to-backs now? Is that where we are? Do we play Freddie Anderson more? Interesting times in Toronto. On the Arizona side, where things are kind of smoothed over, Schmaltz, no goals, 7 assists for him. I was going to say 0-7, but he's not 0-7. No goals, 7 assists. That's what he is. Keller, 3 goals, 2 assists. And there's Phil Kessel. Phil, hanging out with a goal and 5 assists in the last 10 games. So you want to look at a guy who might have a big night tonight. It could be Phil. Grabner, 3 goals and 2 assists for him on the blue line. Ekman Larson with 2 assists. Goligoski with 3 assists. In net, Darcy Kemper has a 4-2 record, .942 save percentage. Ronta 2-1-1 with a .930 save percentage over their last 10 games. They don't give up goals. They save a lot. Their defense is underrated, and their attack is diversified in Arizona. It's a solid run. I would compare Arizona and the Islanders to each other, quite honestly. I think they're in very similar positions, and I think they play a very similar style. And both of them have excellent goaltending, and they're goaltenders that were kind of cast off from other organizations for the most part. So, yeah, it's an interesting time for Arizona and for Toronto. Fantastic test for a brand new coach. I cannot imagine being a brand new coach for the Maple Leafs and having to take over in Arizona. But it might be smart to have a new coach debut on the road rather than at home, because the fans could turn on them quickly at home. So we'll see. All right. San Jose and Vegas, and this is where the new magnet comes in. So what this is, my wife has this fabric that she orders, and she got these stickers, and this one's Mortal Kombat. And I said, can I use that? And I'll tag certain games or certain, like I could do it in reviews as well if there's a big scrum and goalies get involved. I can just use the Mortal Kombat magnet for that. She's like, I don't care, take it. So. Yeah, so Mortal Kombat could take place tonight in this one because this is San Jose and Vegas, and we know what happens with this. So it's 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. If you're looking at that time, you go, that's kind of late for me, you might have a reason to stay up and get yourself some coffee. 10-11-1 is the record for the Sharks. They've got 8 regulation wins, and they've turned it around. Now, their last game was a setback, but they've kind of turned it around. Now, Vegas is 11-9-3. They've got 9 regulation wins, and for Vegas, it feels like they've kind of turned a corner as well. So now we get San Jose again. Now, my guess is Vegas beats the hell out of them. That's my guess. My guess is Vegas comes out tonight and just absolutely lays a whooping on them. And probably looks across the ice and goes, oh, it's the Sharks. That's exactly what we need. For the Sharks, they should look at Vegas, look around at the crowd and go, all right, this is perfect for us. We can prove that we're back and we're legitimate, and we can get back to 500 if we can win this tonight. This game should be a battle. In their last 10 games, Logan Couture, 2 goals, 10 assists. Tomas Hertl, 7 goals, 4 assists. Timo Meier, 3 goals, 6 assists. Gaudreau, 3 goals and 5 assists for him. On the blue line, Burns, 3 goals, 5 assists. Erik Karlsson has a goal and 7 assists. In net, this is where it gets scary. Jones is 6-3 with an .878 save percentage. And bless San Jose fans who want to say, and I've seen it, he's not playing badly. He's playing fine. Yes. This is the reality of goaltending in today's NHL. You have good goaltending, and then you have great goaltending. And to become a playoff team and to consistently do well all year, you kind of need to have great goaltending. Jones, he's okay. You need better. Dell, 0-1 with an .821 save percentage. Of course, Jones has been better as recently as last year's playoffs. So he can do it. We know he can do it. Maybe tonight's the elixir, at which point Vegas fans go, have you seen what we do to him in the first 5 minutes of games in Vegas? Yes, I have. Vegas, Fleury, 3-2-1 in their last 10 with a .909 save percentage. Malcolm Subban's 0-2-2 with an .892 save percentage. So it'll be Fleury, it'll be Jones, and then it could very well be Mortal Kombat in this game. That being said, I now need to change boards. And I didn't hit the pause. That's what happens. And then the game that starts after most of the rest of the action is done for the night at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. We've got the Edmonton Oilers in against the LA Kings. This should be interesting because, again, the Oilers are 14-6-3. How does this happen? And I'm enjoying the ride. This has actually been fun to watch. But how long can they ride the coattails of two guys? And I know Neil's been good again. He seems to be picking up again, but it really is the McDavid and Draisaitl show. How far can it go? They're in against LA, who are 8-12-1. Regulation wins 11 for Edmonton. This is not where they're getting a bunch of wins and shootouts and all that, and it's inflating their record. Nope. 5 wins in regulation for the Kings. Over their last 10, this is 10 games. This isn't the season. Leon Draisaitl, 6 goals, 16 assists. McDavid, 9 goals, 12 assists. You want to argue over which one's better? It doesn't matter. Kara, 4 goals. Nugent Hopkins, 4 goals, 4 assists. On the blue line, Darnell Nurse, 3 assists. Clefbaum, 8 assists. In net, Koskinen, 3-0-2 with a .924 save percentage. And Mike Smith, 3-2 with a .917 save percentage. Goaltending is a huge difference between this year's fortunes for the Oilers and last year's. Koskinen has fixed his game. The problems he had last year look like they're gone. And Smith's been fantastic. A real stabilizing influence back there. Now on the LA side, Kopitar, 3 goals, 8 assists over the last 10 games for the Kings. Iafallo, 2 goals, 5 assists. Dustin Brown, a goal and 3 assists. Adrian Kempe, 2 goals and 1 assist. On the blue line, Drew Doughty with 2 goals, 4 assists. And Ben Hutton, former Canuck, 1 assist for him in their last 10 games. In the net. Not on the blue line unless there's problems at the other end of the rink and Jonathan Quick needs to come out and deal with it. Quick's 3-3 with a .910 save percentage. Campbell's 1-2-1 with an .876 save percentage over the last 10 games for the Kings. This, on paper, looks like one of those games where any season but this one, you go, well, the Oilers' record's too good. They're not that good. They're going to get killed by LA tonight, and then it's going to start, and then the Oilers are going to start taking that nosedive. I don't think the Oilers are taking that nosedive this year, and this is one of those games where, yeah, we would normally expect the Oilers to probably lose it and fall back a bit. They're not that team this year. So, all right, there you go. You guys are all set for tonight's action. Let me know your winners, all that other wonderful stuff in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're just browsing your way through, you just happen upon this video. And if you are brand new to the channel, tonight's review is going to take probably about an hour because that's how long it takes for 13 games. That's why I like it on the weekends kind of sort of better because you usually have the matinees in there. So while it spreads my day out a little bit more, it does mean that the review videos are a little bit easier to parse out. And yeah, we'll see how things go tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support, and I'll talk to you again soon.